All right. We're hanging out.
Knowledge fight. Dan and Jordan, I am sweating. KnowledgeFight.com. It's time to pray.
I have great respect for Knowledge Fight.
Knowledge Fight. I'm sick of them posing as if they're the good guys, saying we are the bad guys. Knowledge Fight.
Dan and Jordan. Knowledge Fight.
I need money. Andy in Kansas. Andy. Stop it. Andy in Kansas. Andy. It's time to pray. Andy in Kansas, you're on the air. Thanks for holding.
Hello, Alex. I'm a first-time caller. I'm a huge fan. I love your work.
Knowledge Fight.
KnowledgeFight.com. I love you.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Knowledge Fight. I'm Dan.
I'm Jordan.
We're a couple dudes like to sit around, worship at the altar of Selene, and talk a little bit about Alex Jones.
Oh, indeed we are. Dan.
Jordan.
Dan.
Jordan.
Quick question for you.
What's up?
What's your bright spot today, buddy?
My bright spot today, we spent a bit of time talking about before the show. There's a new season of The Challenge that has started, and I've not seen it yet, so no spoilers.
No spoilers. Me neither.
But I'm excited. 40. Season 40. What?
Ah, man. I don't even know
if... It's so insane there's 40 seasons.
It is insane. Of all the things to have 40 seasons of, if like, to stop and really just sit there and be like, hey, do you remember when you were 17, a little bit high on terrible weed and watching a bunch of weirdos in a Road Rules real world challenge fight each other over really stupid stuff?
Mm-hmm. Doing weird carnival games back in the early days.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's going to last forever, you would say to me. And I go, yeah, you're right. It totally will.
It's going to be
It's going to be awesome.
And as big as ever.
It's going to be huge. And you know what else? I'm also going to get old.
Yeah. It's strange, but I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
A lot of old people on it. A lot of younger people on it.
Yep.
Competing. What fun.
Do we like young people or do we hate young people? I have no idea. I don't know, because there are the younger people that I've seen from the past recent shows have been from like Love Island or other reality shows. And my wife knows who they are because she can watch reality shows and I am utterly incapable without throwing things.
Sure.
So are these like... what are they? I don't even know. Do people still call them fuck boys? Is that what they're called?
I don't know. I don't know a lot of these shows. I know some of the Survivor people that come over.
Okay.
But other than that, no, I don't know.
Okay.
We have to get to know them on the challenge. Whatever they were on their original shows.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
We need to know them as challengers.
True.
Because the challenge tests you.
True.
It's America's fourth sport. Or something.
Something like that.
So it brings out something different in you.
Yeah, I suppose it does.
Like, for instance, I don't like Josh that much.
Oh,
but did you know that he won his season of Big Brother?
What?
Yeah.
No.
Yep.
How?
He won.
Don't you have to be liked by others?
It helps. There's some strategy involved. But anyway, what's your bright spot?
My bright spot is, what was it? Oh, I actually, I told you a while back that I had to quit smoking.
Yeah.
All smoke, all that stuff.
All smoke all time.
I'd become kind of allergic. Like whenever I smoked, even if it was just regular weed or whatever, it would be like my throat would constrict, and I was actually beginning to like, I'm going to die if I keep doing this.
Yeah, that's no good.
So I tried a bunch of other stuff. I tried edibles. I tried the terp vapes. I tried all that stuff. It's just trash.
Did you try a tincture?
I did. Partially just because I was like, I know the word tincture and I have never actually used one, so let's give it a go.
Yeah.
Not great.
Oh, shit.
But
your excitement really led me to think that it was going to be this is the solution.
It was just the word tincture, which excites me, and to this day still does. No, there was a dry flower vape that vaporizes like the old timey volcano kind of things. And I used to think that was the only way you could do that, and so you'd have to have a giant bag. And I was like, I'm an old man. I'm not going to do that. I'll just quit. They got one of those little handheld. Works perfectly.
A little tiny handheld volcano.
Handheld, doesn't make a bag smell. Like, it's incredibly good, and it works well.
That's the future, man.
It is I swear to you, it is in the future. It made me ask if people still called other people fuckboys. That's how in the future we are.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad for you finding something that works.
Positive.
But I still don't understand how edibles don't work. If smoke is the problem.
No. It's not that they don't work. It's like the definition of work.
Satisfying.
It's like the definition of work is what I need it to do can be done in different chemical ways, I guess. But like time release, all of this stuff requires all kinds of math of like, oh, well, if I do it, and then maybe an hour later. But, whereas you
should try freebasing a tincture.
I would if I could.
I think you can. It's just about believing in yourself.
That's possible.
So, Jordan, today we have an episode to go over.
Indeed.
And I think it's going to be less painful than you think.
Okay. That's surprising.
I think anybody who liked to gamble would have bet on our episode today covering Elon Musk interviewing Donald Trump.
That was pretty much what I was expecting.
And you'd be half right. We're covering Alex covering that interview.
Right.
So Alex did a 4-hour live stream covering this.
Oh my God.
And so we're going to talk about that. And you would think that's going to be like one of the worst things ever.
Yeah.
But it's not as bad as you think. And Alex gets drunk. So
that sounds good.
Yeah. So we'll make our way through this. But first, let's take a little moment to say hello to some new wonks.
Ooh, that's a great idea.
So first, Nick Wright. Thank you so much. You're now a policy wonk.
I'm a policy wonk.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next, this is Bill Gerasi. I'm a member. Support these guys in spite of what they do. Thank you so much. You're now a policy wonk.
I'm a policy wonk.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next, I am not Beryl Fundus, and I am not associated with You Do News. I simply review noodles and dumplings in Massachusetts. Udon News. Thank you so much. You're now a policy wonk.
I'm a policy wonk.
Thank you very
Jordan's
much.
greatest joke.
I forgot. I forgot what it actually was supposed to be. I was like, what is You Do News?
Yeah, Daryl Rundis at his YouTube.
Right. Yeah. Oh, boy.
Next, Mama of Chicken. Thank you so much. You're now a policy wonk.
I'm a policy wonk.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And we had a technocrat in the mix, Jordan, so thank you so much to Hey John. Apologies for any future lateness. I threw out all my clocks because only God can tell me what time it is. Yours in Armchair Psychology, Katie. Thank you so much. You're now a technocrat.
I'm a policy wonk.
4 stars. Go home to your mother and tell her you're brilliant.
Someone sodomite sent me a bucket of poop.
Daddy Shark. Bum, 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 bum. Jar Jar Binks has a Caribbean black accent. He's a loser little titty baby. I don't want to hate black people. I renounce Jesus Christ.
Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you very much.
So on Monday, Trump and Elon Musk decided they were going to get together and talk some shit.
Mm-hmm.
What a good idea. I think people have been clamoring for it.
Okay.
Elon Musk, one of the best interviewers in the business.
I've heard that.
Yeah, he really gets the truth out of people. He's unassuming, kind of like that Louis Theroux vibe where you open up to him.
Yeah.
And then Donald Trump, one of the best extemporaneous interview subjects. The two of them together, it's a powerhouse. People were excited.
Yeah, I'm amazed that anyone listened to that because everybody knew what they were going to get. It's all your faults.
I think that some people looked at it in the same way you might a car crash, and were like looking for the disaster to happen.
Sure.
Some people maybe were interested. I don't know. I can't imagine what sincere interest in this looked like. But Alex decided we're going to fucking stream this thing. We're going to get in there. We're gonna cover it. We're gonna do commentary.
I hate saying this, and I hate being this person. I hope Chase is there.
you're going to be thrilled to learn that all the Knights of the InfoWars Roundtable are there.
Okay.
We got Chase Geiser. We got Harrison Smith. We got Owen Schroyer.
Okay.
We don't have Alex for a bit.
Okay.
Alex shows up late.
Okay, that's good.
So it starts off with just Chase and Harrison discussing how excited they are about this upcoming stream.
Well, one of the things that I really like about this that I was thinking about earlier was if this was a traditional television interview, it would be from 7 p.m. until 8 p.m. Central with commercial breaks or a hard end. And I love how it's just open. Like they're going to start talking at 7 p.m. and who knows how long they'll go for, right? It's this long form thing, and we haven't seen Donald Trump really in this context of just having a conversation with someone that's indefinite. He's never done a Joe Rogan podcast or anything like that. So to see him actually just hang out in a space for an indefinite amount of time is really exciting for me. Well, and it's also, Elon Musk is not a media personality. He doesn't have talking points. He's a corporatist, right? He's a magnate. Mm-hmm. But that'll be interesting as well because I feel like people treat Elon sort of the same way that they treat Trump, where they act like he's just a celebrity for celebrity's sake. But it's like, no, these guys are world famous. Elon Musk is the richest man in the world. I don't know where he stands now, but he's certainly in the top, 3.
So Chase being excited about Trump talking long form without guardrails is a pretty be careful what you wish for kind of situation. I think Harrison is right, though, that people do look at Trump and Elon pretty similarly, in as much as they were pretty famous, rich crypto racists who have made their views a little too public, and now a large part of the population hates them, and they're too rich to ever really take criticism, so they won't ever change. It's pretty hilarious to pretend that Elon Musk isn't basically just a media figure now, though.
Yeah.
He's saying he's so outside of this or whatever, but he owns Twitter, and Alex constantly brags about how many people Musk is reaching with his truth bombs every day. So the only thing that sets him apart from any other media interviewer is that he has no training or experience. He's just a rich asshole who's going to talk to another rich asshole. Also, Elon is the richest person in the world, according to Forbes. He feels like he shouldn't be because his companies are falling apart and Twitter has eroded in value since he bought it, but it turns out when you're rich enough, you can lose billions of dollars and get richer. Incidentally, the correct conspiracy position for InfoWars to be taken right now is to hate both of these dudes, since they're almost cartoonish versions of the very things Alex has been screaming about opposing for most of his career. Musk is currently in the middle of trying to sue advertisers for not buying ads on Twitter after he brought back a bunch of Nazis, made the site a generally shitty place to spend time on, and then publicly told the advertisers to fuck off if they were unhappy about what he was doing. The judge in that case turned out to own at least $15,000 of Tesla stock, so he had to recuse himself. And you can make a pretty comfortable bet that the case will be promptly thrown out eventually, unlike the numerous cases that have popped up from the innocent people who Musk has directed harassment at, like Ben Brody and Iman Khalif. Elon and Trump are the right kind of bigots, so it makes sense for InfoWars to want to support them, but this is kind of 2D chess that they're playing. They need to think about the long term and whether or not kissing the ass of billionaires is going to be an effective anti-establishment strategy. Your brand is kind of hurt by being excited about billionaire media guy interviewing billionaire political guy.
Well, okay. I mean, yes, that would be a long-term strategy if they lose.
Mm-hmm.
If they win, then there is only establishment media. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Or you're dead.
Well,
that's the idea there. So, you want to suck up to Elon and Trump if you think they're going to win.
I don't think that they're the types that if they win and they get the kind of power that you're imagining, that loyalty is going to be super important for them.
Oh, no. I'm not. I wouldn't suck up to them.
Right.
But these are dumb people.
Yeah.
So that they would think that makes sense, despite decades upon decades of evidence proving that there is no loyalty from these two idiots, and they will betray you for themselves instantly for no reason.
They're supposed to be the tip of the spear, though. And here they are just being like, oh, it's exciting that my racist billionaire friends are chatting.
I mean, I wish all of the magazines and all of the news people and all of the journalists and all of the TV people would go back to that early 2010s and that whole Elon Musk is a genius phase they all went through. Look deep inside and quit. Quit your jobs. Everybody quit. Quit.
Well, he seemed exciting at the time.
Yeah. And here we are. So you should quit.
It didn't go great.
No.
So, you're talking about looking back, and that's appropriate, because Chase is sitting here looking back on better times for him on Twitter.
Oh.
Back when he could throw around slurs willy-nilly.
Okay.
The UK, or the EU rather, is really not happy about this. They sent out a letter basically threatening Elon Musk not to interview Donald Trump. Totally absurd, totally blatant foreign interference in an American election, attempted interference at least. The fact that Elon Musk has opened up the platform so much, and people are still not, totally happy with it, but it's like, do you remember what X used to be like? Do you remember how it used to be that you couldn't say anything without fear of your entire account just being axed with no warning? I mean, it was bad before.
No.
It is significantly better now.
Have you ever gone back and looked at your drafts from the pre-X era?
No.
So I would type things, and then I would look at it, and I would analyze, would this get me banned?
Right.
And if it would, I wouldn't delete it. I would save it as a draft.
Yeah.
And I've gone back and looked, and there were some bangers in there, right? But so many of them we could say now, right?
Yeah.
Like, you couldn't even use the word retard back then, right?
Right.
On X, and you would get suspended. And I used to do this thing where I would donate $5 to ARC, which is the Association of Retarded Citizens. It's just called ARC now because retarded is now an antiquated term.
Right.
But if you donated in someone's name, it would show up on their feed like, oh, $5 was donated in the name. So I would donate $5 to ARC and then take a screenshot of the name of the person and then reply because I couldn't call him a retard.
That's the most passive-aggressive charity I've ever heard of.
Right? But the era of self-censorship is virtually over.
Well, maybe he's looking back on a time when he had to be creative, I guess, about his slurs.
Yeah.
So the EU industry chief, Terry Breton, wrote Elon a letter telling him that there were legal implications to this interview with Trump, and that since he was doing it, Breton wanted to remind him of the rules of the Digital Service Act so that Elon would stay in line with that during the conversation. He wasn't telling him that he can't do the interview or anything like that, just that there are rules that apply in EU countries that Elon is subject to and benefits from a great deal.
Yeah.
It's fun that Chase's basic point there is that he misses when it was kind of okay to be a lazy bully on Twitter. Like when he's writing, when he's complaining about this time that like the drafts, he saved these things to drafts. It's because prior to that, he was fine using slurs.
Sure.
And all this shit was fine. And then moderation came in.
Right.
And it started to not be okay. And now it's okay again. That's great.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. When I stop and think about what they're talking about, that old time, I would guarantee that I was meaner to people than any of them could ever have dreamt of being. But I was never afraid of being banned because I am creative, so it never concerned me. Why would you use words that are offensive to other people? I'm trying to hurt you specifically.
But were you as creative as Chase?
I don't know. I actually think that's pretty funny.
I mean, it's kind of exploiting a charity in order to be able to use a slur.
Unfortunately, if you're the ones who are going to build ambiguity into words, it's not my fault how they're used.
I don't understand like how wokeness took this joke away from him, but that does seem to be the complaint that he's making, and now Elon Musk has given the joke back to him.
I mean, I think the irony is that wokeness is what gave him the good part of the joke.
Right.
Having to be creative about it, having to point out the inherent hypocrisy in calling that word a bad word and yet still using it in the name of your charitable organization. That's fun.
The limitations are literally the only thing that's interesting about what Chase is saying.
Yeah, what you actually have to say is fucking
response to
stupid.
the limitation is the only thing that's
way
creative
better.
at all.
Yeah.
So we get some more just, I don't know, killing time before Alex gets there?
I think that it's good that Trump has saved something like this for this late in the game because it's going to have more momentum into the actual election day on November 5th than if he would have done it 6 months ago or 9 months ago. That would have worn off. Now, I hope that he's got more things like this to come over the course of the next 90 days or so because there always has to be a real zinger all the way up until Election Day. You don't want people to forget some of the main awesome milestones of a campaign, like the assassination, like the coming back to the X platform and getting hundreds of thousands of likes, despite the Krasenstein's repeated attempts to ratio him every time they can. They get like 3,000 likes on the replies to his 300,000 like post.
Right.
Not even close. Not even like 1%. Right.
This is so sad.
That is the saddest thing I've ever heard.
We've got to keep the hits coming all the way up to the election, like the time someone shot at Trump, or when the Krasensteins failed to ratio him.
Ah, man. Y'all got to listen to your own words and then just be like, oh, we got it. We can just change. We can just stop this. Once those words come out of your mouth, there should be an alarm sound that goes off, right?
Yeah, I think this should be a moment of clarity.
Alarm! Run!
This is what we're excited about.
We gotta
These
go.
are the milestones.
We gotta go, man.
Yikes. So if you want to hear another like just blaring red flag kind of,
oh, I do.
Here it is.
They're scheduled to go on X Spaces with Trump and Elon at 7 p.m. tonight. We will be here for that. Likely it'll be sort of similar to our coverage of the RNC, where we'll mostly be watching it. We'll chime in with entertaining and enlightening comments as we see fit.
Hell yeah.
But mostly we'll just be watching along with all you fine folks. I believe Owen Schroyer will be joining us at some point. I know he was doing a pre-recorded interview after the War Room today. And Alex Jones should be doing something a little later this evening as well. I'm not sure what we can or want to say about that, but
no, it's published. He's going to be with Mario Knopfel. Yeah,
he'll be on with Mario Knopfel at 9 p.m. tonight. 9 p.m.
And I think we're going to broadcast that too. So if you stay tuned on our live streams on either Real Alex Jones or here on InfoWars, you should be able to see it.
So stay tuned to InfoWars regardless.
Dudes, get the lifeboats. Get off this boat. Alex would rather be on Mario Knopfel's Twitter space than on his own show.
That's
to cover the Musk and Trump interview.
Here's what I say. All right? This is where you stage a mutiny.
Right.
All right? Chase, Harrison, lock the doors.
Right.
Nobody's getting in. InfoWars is ours now. That's what you do.
I mean, you're doing kind of what Alex would have done.
Exactly. That's the idea. You're taking his power away from him, giving it to yourself, and now you're powerful.
Right. It's an indication of priority. And Alex's priority is these other people's Twitter space over his own network.
Yeah.
I'll leave this to the kids.
Yeah.
But Alex does end up spending most of the time on InfoWars. So he does end up showing up, but when I was listening to this, it's clear that that's not necessarily the plan. The plan is maybe Owen Schroyer's going to be here.
Yeah.
Alex will be on with this other guy.
Yeah. Like, here's how you can sell that to them to avoid the mutiny. JV squad, time to step up. You guys are the stars. I'm going to go do my own thing. So I'm going to give you time to shine. I'm going to give you space to blossom.
Twitter space.
And then when you show up and you stay for a while, that goes out the window, though. You might as well have just been like, you're failures, both of you.
Harrison, I trusted you on January 6th.
See what I'm saying?
You were so good.
Ugh.
Pass me the bourbon.
It has fallen. The bourbon has fallen.
So Twitter space.
Yeah.
It's really the town square when you kind of think about it. You know? Yeah, totally.
Okay.
But it'll be interesting seeing a Twitter space with like all of these politicians and celebrities and probably world leaders. I mean, who isn't going to be looking into this? There's never been a television broadcast where you have a list of everybody watching at that moment. Which is again, I love Twitter spaces. I love the novelty and uniqueness of this platform. I'm so glad this is becoming. It really is like a global town hall. Everybody can listen in, raise your hand if you want to speak. You can bring anybody up. It's totally fascinating, and just thank God for Elon Musk. I mean, what more can you say?
Well, it's the only platform that I've been on where I've made true friends with strangers.
That's great. So it's the town square, right? It's town hall, but it's also owned by the richest man in the world who can shut you down and cut you out of town hall if he doesn't like you. Supporting this is not in line with the correct conspiracy position, but InfoWars has abandoned even trying to appear consistent because they're pretty sure that the billionaire in this case is on their side. It's a nice piece of hubris, but we'll see how it works out in the long run. Also, in any other setting, I can easily see Harrison saying that there's the list of everyone who's tuning into this conversation. It seems like a good idea for like a shadowy globalist organization to make an enemies list. But in this case, I guess it's a cool feature of Twitter Spaces. Also glad to hear Chase is making friends on Twitter. Now might be a good time just to say that he follows us. I was looking at my phone and I had an update of like Chase Geyser follows.
That's not surprising. That's not surprising.
That's funny.
Oh boy,
making friends.
Oh man, I would posit that a lot of these people, and I think all of us really are afraid of, in some ways, getting kicked in the face, metaphorically or literally. And to me, it's always been just like a math thing that if you are licking boot, you are much closer to the kick in the face.
Your foot's right there.
Exactly.
Yep.
Back off. Just leave it alone.
Right.
Don't lick that boot. You're going to get kicked in the face.
Yeah. It's a good cautionary thing.
Yeah.
I always felt that way about pro wrestling. It's like that person can't give you that move if you're not in that position.
Yeah.
Don't get in that position. Whatever you do, if you're fighting against, I don't know, Stone Cold, don't let him kick you in the stomach. Whatever you do, you're getting stunned if he kicks you in the stomach.
Totally. That's just planning.
Yeah.
It's just strategy. It's basic strategy.
Yeah.
That this guy has a special move that will defeat you, so avoid said move.
Don't lick that boot because you're going to get kicked in the mouth.
Seems odd. Seems odd how many people are desperate to lick that boot.
Yeah. So they got to kill some time before Owen Schroyer shows up or the space starts or anything. And so Harrison begins to read IMs, instant messages that come in. And so he's got an interesting one here.
Crypto Pliskin says, I'm worried the Dems will cheat for Trump during the election instead of themselves, then investigate and set up Trump as the cheater. I've not heard that theory before.
That's a wild one, but I like it.
Right? This is
I
why
like
they
it
cannot
too.
allow Biden to leave office now, because that would make Mike Johnson the vice president, which would cause a problem for the Dems when they stuff the ballot for Trump. Interesting.
Is it?
I've not heard about that idea, but I don't know. That is a little far fetched. But then again, who knows?
He
what
just
these
by
scumbags
default
are.
becomes the vice president, or does Kamala get to pick another one?
That's a good question.
I need to chat GPT that.
He would be in third in line.
You guys should know this, first of all. And second, your response shouldn't be, I need to chat GPT this.
I am
very sad.
I am blown away by all of that exchange.
It's a fun little ride because the person who's coming from the IM is like, that's a interesting theory. The Dems are going to cheat for Trump in order to create evidence that Trump cheated in order to use them against him.
Sure.
Right? You're getting your opponent disqualified.
Right.
Basically.
You shouldn't watch porn and have the Art of War open on the same tab. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Sure.
if you're one of these right wing guys, you can't be like, big natural whatever.
But this guy has this weird theory.
Yeah.
And Harrison's response to it is, that sounds interesting. Chase comes in with I haven't heard that one before, but I like it.
Man.
This is a writer's room. It's a creative writing exercise.
I just appreciate that it is far more, like, it's not about, this is a stupid theory, this is a right theory or a wrong theory. It's more about, haven't heard that one before.
Yeah, that might be fun to say.
I like that. Yeah. Let's taste that.
Want people to use that.
That is a little bit like they're swishing it around in their mouths a little bit. They cheated themselves out of the election to trick us. How could they be so smart?
Right. That's fun.
Yeah.
That is.
I like that.
Yeah. So the space is about to start.
Sure.
I don't know if you know this, but I assume you do because you live in the world. The space did not start on time.
Oh, yeah.
I assume you heard that.
I heard that there were
rocky.
problems. Yeah.
There's some trouble.
Now, Chase has gotten up and left because he's setting up the space, I believe, that we'll be talking on. Owen Schroyer is going to join me momentarily. We should be beginning in 30 seconds, but who knows? I mean, that is the double-edged sword with Twitter Spaces, is it's not broadcast TV, so that's good, but it also means we're not sure whether they're going to start directly on time, and I assume the crew is working feverishly to make sure that we get the... All right, folks, this is a new twist. We're going to go to a quick video. This is one that Trump posted on his X. It's called Test of a Man.
Yeah, so they do play some Trump ads. But yeah, they're not sure when it's going to start, and that is actually a good thing. Mm-hmm. This is not professional, and we don't know. So Chase has gone to the control booth. Owen's going to be showing up. And then, what do you know?
Like, okay, that does make sense if you're a pirate radio station.
Right.
Not if you are the richest man in the world who owns the platform you are about to start.
Interviewing the former president who's running for president.
Exactly. Yeah. If you and I are pirate broadcasting from fucking international waters,
then
you
it's
should
cool.
not know when the broadcast is going to start.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
If we owned CBS, then you should know when the show starts.
It would be a sign of incompetence
Yes.
if you're just sort of flying by your the seat of your pants.
Yes. It
here.
is cool when you're broke.
Yeah. So Alex actually shows up because the space is about to start, and I guess Mario Naval didn't want him on at this point, or something. I'm not sure.
Okay.
But Alex, he's here.
It wasn't hard to predict the X Spaces because of, I was on the Elon a while back ago. 25 million people watched it live, another 25 million, 30 million the next couple days, 50 million. I bet there's 100 million trying to tune in. But when Biden or Kamala Harris has one of their events on YouTube, it's got 500 consecutive viewers, literally, maybe 600.
On a good day.
On a good day. So this is a good problem to have, like Rumble. When I've been on some shows, like Steven Crowder, when he gets 2-3 million, it crashes. And you guarantee election night, we're not going to crash if we pay for the bandwidth, but it's going to cost a lot of money. It costs a lot of money to bring in this information. Something I'm not good at is plugging to support InfoWarsStore.com.
Boom! Right out the gate.
Something I'm not good at.
Pretty smooth. But so the space isn't working, and Alex's immediate response to it is pretty rational, which is there's too many people who are trying to watch it.
Yeah.
The infrastructure at Twitter sucks.
Yeah.
They didn't plan well for this.
Totally.
But it works into the everyone likes us, no one wants to watch Harris. So you can work with this for now.
Sure.
And that's the space that they're going to live in. So while we wait, why not talk about that assassination? That was pretty exciting.
that is the question that I think I did have about all that, because I don't care what they said to each other, because they didn't tell each other anything true. There's nothing that they could say that would be informative.
No.
They don't know anything.
The only thing that's interesting, and the only reason I'm even doing this episode, is because of Alex's response to the things that happened.
Right. No, that's what's interesting to me, is everybody, I maybe I'm crazy, but I do feel like everybody kind of knows what's going on, and we're all in varying degrees of denial about how it's going to shake out, right? But everybody that I've talked to, my family, all of these people, like, they know this is bullshit.
I think
nobody's surprised that this is bullshit.
I feel like it's really tough for me to imagine someone doesn't.
I mean,
but I have to include it as a possibility.
It's crazy to me, because it is like they're all just like, well, obviously we're going to vote for this guy, but he is a terrifying, nonsense spewing rapist. Like, what?
Yeah.
How is that also true?
I don't know. So they talk about this assassination attempt, and Alex appears to be arguing with an imaginary person who said that the shooting didn't happen.
Okay.
I don't know who this person is, but
the whole shooting didn't happen, or just the ear part?
It was staged or something. I don't know.
Whatever it is, yeah.
But he's arguing with someone in his head, and he's decided that he's going to prove them wrong.
Okay.
These idiot leftists put up images of full cartridges. And they usually put up 5.56. They'll put up like 308 or 338 Lapua or something, or 30-06, and say, oh, this whole thing hit his ear. No, the bullet fires. And I can tell you how many times I've shot at a wild hog 600 yards away, or many things I've shot, whitetail, you name it. I've done a lot of hunting back when I had time. Mule deer, mountain goats, you name it. And you'll shoot and think you missed it, and you get another one in the chamber and fire and hit it right in the chest. It falls over dead. When you get there, you just see a graze right through an ear, a little bit of blood, a tiny little scrape, or right about the top of the back, or right across the leg, because you're shooting 700 yards away, 500 yards away. I mean, so they think like a full cartridge shot out, and no, it just skimmed him. It just went right by at 3,000 or 2,500 feet per minute, 3,000 on the muzzle, but at 150 yards. About 2,400 feet per second, and just skimmed his ear. And so we haven't had time yet, but I want to go out the next few weeks with you guys, some of these outdoor shooting ranges, and put up maybe watermelons, you name it, and we'll just set the scopes up and shoot and graze it and show people what we're talking about.
Yeah, well, I mean,
they don't get grazing.
Yeah, that's one of the part of the miraculous thing of the assassination attempt is the way it happened. It could not have been faked. I mean, there's a photo of the bullet flying through the air.
Not even an AI robot could follow his head perfectly.
Nothing.
With the wind and things, and only skim him.
No,
a guy died. I mean, this was real. I mean, you can't fake this.
If I were Alex, I would say that all of that is evidence that it must be faked. It's too perfect.
Yeah, I mean...
but I don't know who he's arguing with exactly.
Himself.
Yeah.
He's the person who would say it's fake.
Yeah. He's the imagined enemy of himself.
Yeah, he's like, oh, the only idiot who would say something like this was fake. Oh, shit, it's me.
I do like, though, that I have this image in my head of them going out to a shooting range and William telling it with Chase put a watermelon on top of his head.
We got to prove it.
And try and graze it.
Listen, we're not going to Burrows this, okay, Chase? You're going to be fine.
Yeah, you'll be all right.
We also have a flight lined up for me to be not in this country anymore very quickly, but you're going to be fine.
I think that would be a great video.
Yeah.
So the space does not start for a bit. And they're not really all that surprised.
Let's just be clear. This is a strict. I'm sorry to say it. It's obviously probably true at this point. I think it's safe to say they can't even get on air. This was a strategic blunder. They should have back-ended this transmission, done it in a studio like we do, and then streamed it to X.
As a side deal.
They should not have relied on the front-end X technology to make sure this thing got off the ground, because here we are, not shocked at all that it's not.
And that's what's frustrating is we had to come from the trenches, myself 30 years, you a decade, you guys a long time, where we had to have our own stuff. And I know that X, I talked to back room folks.
It is his own stuff.
It's
all his stuff.
Able to do it.
Yeah.
I get it. You have millions of people tuning in and dialing in. It's hard to get all that done. Maybe they should have one tier for the host that's video, then another tier that's audio. So we did get a control room. Well, hey, let's get Chase Geiser, who's the spaces expert, which I think is great technology. They're working the bugs out. We're not criticizing. You know, if Musk was
absolutely
not a maverick, we would be, obviously he's a maverick on free speech.
But this is too big to go with an experimental technology, in my opinion.
Well, I mean, actually, I saw the speculation today that it would crash. I think you even said that, right?
Yeah, that was. I mean, I talked about.
Everybody
it was too
did
easy to predict. I mean, that's not
because
like
it was going to.
Like predicting it's going to rain in Florida or something.
Yeah, it's a fucking easy prediction.
What is happening?
The site barely works. It sucks. And
we're not criticizing it.
The richest person in the world is interviewing the former president and presidential candidate for the Republican Party. So obviously, there's going to be a lot of eyes on this, and it's shitty infrastructure. Everyone knows this. Alex knows this. Owen knows this. It's obvious.
Everybody knows it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like I remember so much from when I was growing up, because that was the narrative in my house when I was growing up, is because it was during the Clinton years. So it was like, it should be run like a business. The United States should be a business, or then it became a household. Mm-hmm. Either way, somebody's dad should be in charge and control all the money, right? And this is like, if they could pull off a business, maybe. But this is their business. This is business. This is what their business looks like. I do not want anything being run like this.
They announced this considerably in advance. There was every opportunity to not have this kind of false start.
Yeah.
And everyone saw it coming, and it happened.
And it did happen.
So that's where we're at, kind of, at this point on the stream.
Look, Elon, he's the first to admit it. He is the guy that takes on too much. So, we can't.
Then don't do it!
Say Chase is in the control room? Chase Geiser, you know more about spaces than us. You're kind of the techie around here of the host. Well, what's going on?
Well, there's over 205,000 people that are in the space right now. I'm actually currently in the space because I was one of the first people to join it, so I was able to get in. But it seems like they're having server capacity issues because so many people are trying to join the space at the same time. People like the Hodge twins and others are in the replies on both Elon Musk's account and Donald Trump's account, saying that they're having a hard time getting in.
I was about to say, I'm not an engineer, but I've noticed the last 20 minutes is about 200,000. I'm guessing that's the threshold of the server, so millions more are trying to get on.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know from conversations that I've had with Dick Sordor, because he and Mario, of course, are very intimately involved with the Spaces team at X, that as of a few months ago, the Spaces team was only like half a dozen to a dozen people total as far as
that's too
engineers
few.
are concerned. So we're talking about a really kind of bootstrapped, lean team dealing with this massive capacity. But I'll tell you what, if this was a Kamala Harris space, I don't think it would be breaking the internet.
Yeah, there'd be 3,000
right,
people
well,
on
Donald Trump breaks the internet, Kamala Harris breaks America, right?
So, perfect. Say that again.
While Donald Trump breaks the internet, Kamala Harris breaks America.
Yeah, yes, and they're going to spin this tomorrow, and hopefully Elon's on the phone with those engineers yelling at people to up the servers.
I imagine he is yelling at somebody. Yeah, Chase got a good catchphrase in there. Alex was very proud of that.
I hate it whenever there's nothing to argue with. He has just made all of my points perfectly about why everything he believes is wrong, and everybody who wants to be president shouldn't be, and everything that he thinks is right is should be thrown into the sun.
Well, I think,
he made the argument for me,
and I think that there is such a kind of response to this.
Yep.
You're watching Alex do a live stream of this stream. The stream interview doesn't work, and their reaction to it is, oh yeah, obviously they fucked up.
You know
yeah.
If you okay. How about this? Let me throw this out at you. Theoretically speaking, this is an idea of who we are choosing. We choose to lead us, right? So if you are choosing who to lead you, right? And then your next words are like, well, obviously nothing they do works.
And, he'll be the first to tell you that his failing is that he tries to do too much.
And then fails.
Yeah. Fuck off. So anyway, it's just a logistical issue, though, really.
Well, yes, but that is his job.
Yeah, but he takes on too many challenges.
I'm no engineer. It's at 205,000. That's the cap.
Yep.
I'm surprised they can take 205,000 people are able to dial into a thing where they
that is not your correct reaction
to this. I think the biggest venue in the world is the Maracanã in Brazil. It's like 100.
That is not your reaction to this.
You can fit into this stadium, but that's what it is. So it's like you've got 10 million people trying to pour into the Maracanã. Like it doesn't fit. It doesn't hold that many people. It's not.
If the glove doesn't fit, you must have quit.
What?
So I just think that's the deal here. And you know what, Alex? Hey, there's a silver lining to everything, and maybe that's ultimately how this is going to end up: is Musk and Trump in the same room.
Well, the silver lining is they should say, cut all the other speakers, and they should talk.
I don't know why.
You know me, I would have thrown a fit in 5 minutes.
Oh, yes, you would have. We all know that.
We do all know that.
So I think that maybe Owen read an article about this venue in Brazil recently.
It would make sense, yeah.
Top of mind. I think I probably just played that clip because of Alex's response being, if.
So one of those things that you requested is something I have already drawn. It's the Terminator. Featured in this recent video that I just put out on my other channel. So there you go. Bask in its glory.
When you see something like Terminator, you think that's a movie. No, the art's imitating life. That's all predictive programming. When I say literally, I mean stuff in Star Trek, the Borg come to assimilate everybody. That's art imitating life. Just like we saw in the movie Avatar, that's what voodoo is. So you watch the Hunger Games, that's actually the plan.
And I also drew Katniss. And I drew the Borg. And I drew a RoboCop. Why would you want a Dorito bag? Like, I understand the cartoon characters, movie characters, but a Dorito bag? What is that? I mean, I know what it is, but why would you want a Dorito bag? Huh. What's happening? I don't know what this is. If you don't know what this is, then you probably don't know who I am. I make cartoon videos of Knowledge Fight here at Kudos 2. Kudos to someone. It looks funny. It is funny. They're very funny. I have 10 videos in the Knowledge Fight playlist. I have a couple other random videos. But what are you just going around looking at different streams that you don't know who they are, what they do? What's your story? Hello, Neptuneer. What is this? I don't know, man. You have to be more specific when you say this. I don't know what the hell you're referring to. What is this? It sounds like you're looking at something that I can't see, and you're asking me what it is. Like you could say, what is that drawing? What is that video? What is that character? If you ask a question that contains meaning, then I can answer it. I can't answer what is this. This, unless you want a definition of this. This is a pronoun, okay? I know people get very sensitive about pronouns. Oh no, they're going to teach me pronouns. Then I'll have to be nice to people. I don't know what that's all about, but yeah. What is this? Yeah, if you're watching this stream and you don't know what the hell I'm doing right now, then you must be a newcomer who's like, this channel that I'm streaming from has like 60 subscribers. And the only reason you would be subscribed to me is because you know me from my other channel, which has currently 2,800 subscribers. Look at that. We're going up. We're going up and up and up and up and up. It's very fun. So yeah, I don't know. If you're watching this stream right now and you don't know who I am or what I'm doing, I encourage you to, hold on, I'm going to put a link here, to go to this link and familiarize yourself with my work and the work of Dan Friesen and Jordan Holmes, who do the podcast. And may I remind you, it is very funny. They're all really funny. That's the point. I find the funniest parts of the podcast, and I draw cartoons to them. And the drawings are very terrible, but that's kind of the point. What is this? I've had this situation before with people. They're like, what is this? I say, I don't know. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You're holding something that you can see and I can't, and you're asking me what it is. You have to be more descriptive. Anyway, let's go back to the podcast.
If the glove doesn't fit, you must quit.
I don't even understand.
No.
That's amazing.
It's very strange.
That is amazing.
Yeah. So there's nothing going on, really. There's no conspiracy.
No, that's the problem. That's the problem. When it's incompetence, you're supposed to make it a conspiracy.
But it's not really incompetence if you look at it the right way. It's you're too popular. Like, the limitations of this technology are kind of understandable. It's just that you are way too popular for the technology to handle.
Right. Which I accept. If you are a media company or a person who talks. But if you're literally purveyed as the tech guy who invents tech that does shit like this, then yeah, it is incumbent upon you to make it work.
It's kind of glaring when you don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's kind of why you need an excuse.
Yep.
And thankfully, Elon comes through with an excuse for everybody. After they have already really just...
What's he got? I bet it's people got rid of Rhodesia. Is that what it was?
It might be in the background somewhere.
This was too easy to predict. And so, hey, maybe it'll be kind of a troubleshooting thing for X now, and they can figure out how to make it better in the future. I hope this thing ends up getting off sometime tonight. If not, though, you know what? Either way, Trump Musk.
Hey, we got an update from Elon Musk. Elon Musk says there appears to be a massive DDoS attack happening.
I predicted that.
This is not a failure of X so much as it is actually a cyber attack happening, probably backed by people supported by the EU and others who have come out and issued threatening letters today.
No, I mean, I agree with that because I figured Musk had this updated. Yeah, I think that probably is it.
Oh, yeah, that's totally probably it. We were just talking about how there's too many people and the infrastructure of Twitter is shitty. But yeah, it was probably a massive DDoS attack probably run by the UN because they hate this and it's too scary. He's too powerful.
That sucks.
Yeah.
That sucks because it's not fun.
No.
It's not fun to fight against a baby.
Well, I think it's fun that that clip is like 35 seconds long, and it starts with Owen being like, "Yeah, we all saw this coming. It's no big deal," and then it ends with, "Oh no!"
I mean,
the UN.
I mean, I just like it. If you're willing to go there, then
it's almost like seeing keys jangling.
It is.
In 30 seconds,
100%.
This is.
Oh, it was a DDoS attack. Way! That totally makes sense. No, that's way more making sense than the thing that we all agreed upon 5 seconds ago.
And it does appear that Musk may have been lying about that.
Oh?
Yeah. So anyway, we do finally get to the space, and there's some elevator music playing it.
Okay.
All right, there is some speaking happening in the space right now.
Okay, go to it. Here it is.
Well, it looks like it went away. They just did a quick update in the space where they said there was a cyber attack, and now they're back to the hold music. Sorry about that, guys.
Hey, I love this attack. It only makes it bigger. If we don't, most people are like, oh, God, we're attacked. We're going home. This is what happens in the info war, folks. I mean, you got Elon Musk and Donald Trump. Obviously, millions want to hear it. And I tell you, my gut level, which I said, I guarantee it's true. He probably boosted all the bandwidth, did major updates, but there's an attack on top of it.
So yeah, we've shifted over now. This is what's going on. The EU is too scared of Trump and Elon coming together, and so they had to attack this. I do think it's probably super lucky if you're able to announce in the space that there's a cyber attack while a cyber attack is going on.
That is nice.
And still be able to play your hold music.
It is so nice of the cyber attackers to give you that courtesy. It's because a lot of like ransomware people, they'll just like drop the software onto your thing and then they'll lock it so you can't do anything unless you pay them. It's kind of like a ransom.
Yeah.
This
is an ambivalent attack.
Yeah, it's more of a like, I wonder how much we can fuck up his 20 minutes, I guess. All right, okay.
It's almost like a villain whose plot isn't to actually stop something, but it's like, let's see them get around this.
I mean,
and that seems dumb.
It does. It feels like a plan that somebody whose other plan is, what if the Democrats rig the election for Trump,
right,
in order to prove that he rigged it.
Similar headspaces.
Yeah.
So, you know what? This isn't all bad news. Their stream isn't working. You know whose is?
InfoWars, baby.
Who do I have in there posting on X? Because I see us with millions of viewers already tuned into us. So I want to put this out on X as another repost of the live feed. You guys got me? I want to put what I'm about to say out. I can do it myself right now. On X of the live show feed. I want to put this out right now. You guys ready?
Yeah, I'm listening to you right now.
All right, I want you to retweet this. I want you to post this on X. Elon Trump interview under hack attack. Watch censored feed here, which we're about to launch, which we're taking. It's all true. And that'll go super viral because people need to. The average person said, no, they're being blocked. They don't know why they can get on. They're trying to find out. We got to tell them. We're already telling them what just happened. See, it's not hype. It's real.
Okay.
So.
Defensive.
Elon Trump interview under hack attack. See censored interview here live. That's the headline. And you see, we're not even doing it in the future. It already happened. But the people trying to hit the Elon link aren't able to get this because it's shut down. We're telling them. So you heard the headline right now. Exclusive. Elon Trump interviewed under hack attack. Hear and see censored interview at this link. Sound good? Something like that? All right, fire that out.
So that's chops right there.
Yeah.
That's somebody who is adept at making lemonade out of lemons.
Yeah.
He is sitting there like, how does this work for me? I will get everyone who can't get on.
Yep, that's the smart move. That's the smart move, yeah.
It's exploitative, and he realizes it in the moment while he's trying to, like, rationalize why, this is not hype.
Well, I mean, I would think that the thing that makes sense about Twitter Spaces, I've never used it, obviously, and I'm not on Twitter, obviously, would be like the decentralized node aspect, right? So you can be on your Twitter Space watching somebody else's Twitter Space, right? So people can connect to yours through...
I guess.
I thought that would be the thing that would make sense.
I don't know.
As opposed to just one giant... But, I mean... Hey, I'm not the richest man in the world, so what do I know?
Well, I do know that whatever it is not working.
No.
At this point. But, you know, Band.video is, their streams are.
Here's my...
make a killing off this.
I've got a thing. I think we need to do this as a society and as a language. We need to really limit what hack can be applied to. You know, like the Roger Stone thing. Whenever people are like, "Oh, Iranian hackers sent no. Roger Stone was not hacked. He clicked on an email link. That is not getting hacked. No, Roger Stone is an idiot. That is your headline. Not Roger Stone got hacked by super brilliant Iranian hacker. There's a phishing email from every major government in Roger Stone's spam file right now. Every single major government in Australia has a phishing email. If Roger Stone accidentally clicks on a link, then Australia has all of his shit.
I think
nobody's
you're being
hacking
too
it.
generous assuming it's governments.
Well, fair enough. Whatever. But what you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, but it's so fun to say hack attack.
But that's why people think they got hacked instead of they were stupidly clicked on an email link.
Or you just were unprepared for a giant group of people
attack.
to show up at your Twitter
It could
space.
be.
So Owen spent some time before... I mean, because we don't have anything to watch.
Right, we don't have anything to do.
So he just sort of complains about how some people shouldn't vote.
Smart.
But the lemmings stand behind her and cheer and clap. Like, they love it. And I'm just sitting here because if you look at the original founding of this country and the political science when it first was founded, we've really kind of gone off pasture in a lot of ways.
Oh, really?
Well, I don't mean just the basic constitutional violations, but I mean how the actual science is applied.
No, I hear you. It's
like, these people shouldn't vote. I'm to the point now where I'm like, F your voting rights, bro.
Did you see the women? I never played it today. Can you guys cue that up? Of the Democrat Party women howling like animals, saying, "She a woman, she black." Have you seen this clip?
Oh boy. So,
I mean, that is the correct take for an originalist constitution, right? Like, it should only be white men voting. Like, that's what he believes, so say it.
It's a far more honest take than a lot of people in this space are willing to articulate.
Yeah, absolutely.
F your voting rights, bro.
Yes, it should be. I liked the country the way that it was originally set up, and all of you think because the words apply to more than white people that they should, and I disagree.
Right.
Along with Thomas Jefferson, I don't think you should have the right to vote.
I like thinking that my rights are God-given.
Right.
But that doesn't mean that everyone's are.
Inalienable white human rights.
Yeah. Okay, Owen.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Please delineate who you think shouldn't vote.
Other
What
people
groups?
who shouldn't vote. Oh, God.
So we get to the stream, finally.
Yes.
And it starts off dull.
They are
just
live.
started.
This is Donald Trump and Elon Musk now. 42 minutes in. Here it is.
Denial of service attack against our servers, and saturated all of our data lines. Like basically hundreds of gigabits of data were saturated. We think we've overcome most of that, and so it's now time to proceed. But as this massive attack illustrates, there's a lot of opposition to people just hearing what President Trump has to say. And but I'm honored to have this conversation. I want to emphasize it's a conversation, and it's really intended to just get a feel for what Donald Trump is just like in a conversation. So it's hard to catch a vibe about someone if you just don't hear them talk in a normal way. And when there's an adversarial interview, like no one's themselves in an adversarial interview. So and
Strong
this is really
disagree.
aimed at kind of open-minded, independent voters who just trying to make up their mind. So you can understand like what is what is it just like to have a conversation? So honored to Donald, great to speak.
Whew. This is it's starting off a little rocky. I mean, you had the tech problems, and then this is a little bit like, oh, we're just trying to catch a vibe here, man. We're just trying to let you know. If you're out there, you're an undecided voter, maybe you're somewhere in the middle, we just want to give you a vibe. See what Trump is really like when he's just having a little bit of a chat with another billionaire. All right. Seems like an interesting launch-off point. That's what you're setting out to do.
Yeah.
So it's interesting because I don't believe this.
Agreed.
I don't believe that the intention is to allow undecided voters to make up their own mind about Trump.
Sure.
I think that there is an intention to sell Trump
What?
on undecided voters.
No. It's just a regular conversation to find out what a regular guy he is.
Starting with this kind of a tone is dishonest to the utmost degree. It is.
I like that is like, listen, he starts with lying about why it didn't start, and then he starts lying.
Yeah. I think that you can make an ethical argument for lying about the DDoS attack thing.
Whoa. I don't even want to get into that.
It's not deeply unethical to cover your ass.
I'm not going to fight
Whatever.
you. I'm not going to fight you.
I think that this is more unethical.
I think this one's definitely not going to. Nobody's. Foucault isn't being like, let him get away with this one.
No,
not happening.
So the first question out of the box, which I think is a classy move for an interviewer.
Sure.
I think this is why you get someone like Elon Musk to do the interview. Essentially, his first question is like, hey, how was it to get shot at?
That's actually an interesting question.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, maybe we could start off with, the assassination attempt, which was an incredible thing. And I have to say that, your actions after that assassination attempt were inspiring. You, instead of shying away from things, instead of ducking down, you were pumping your fist in the air and saying, fight, fight, fight. And I think that's, the President of the United States represents America. And I think that is America. That is strength under fire. And so that's, a big, part of the reason why I was excited to endorse you as the President of the United States for having another term here is that was just incredibly inspiring. But I mean, what was it like for you?
Not pleasant. I have to be honest. I said there was blood. I had more blood. I didn't know I had that much blood. The doctors later told me that the ear is a place that is a very bloody place.
This seems like a joke, honestly. It seems like a parody of what Elon would do. Talk about your feelings about this guy getting shot at for a minute, then ask, hey, what was that like to get shot at? And Trump would be like, I have a lot of blood. So much blood. The ear is a place full of blood.
I mean, that is such, like... If he wasn't a psychopath, there's so many there's so many interesting things to... I've never been shot at.
Sure.
I've never been shot at on purpose or on accident.
Yeah.
Right? And the idea of how many people have been shot at, how much violence and gun violence is part of the United States, to then be able to be like, I'm a fucking victim of gun violence in the United States. Here's how I feel about it. And instead he's like, no good.
A lot of blood.
Not fun. My doctors, they said I had a lot of blood.
Yep. Doctors
in my ear.
Double-checked my ears for blood.
I had the most blood in the most ears they've ever seen. That's what they said. The doctor said I had the most blood in one ear that anybody's ever had. And still was healthy, and it wasn't elephantitis.
It honestly feels like what a Trump impersonator would say.
It's what I would say if I was making a joke about what he might say.
Yeah. So anyway, that moment I think is kind of fun out of the gate, and then this just nosedives into boring city.
Yeah.
This shit is so boring.
They don't have anything to say.
No.
They're just rich.
And you can tell that, like, Alex and everyone in the studio is kind of like,
oh, God.
And we thought, my first question was because I heard bullets flying over me, and I said, how many people were killed? Because we had a massive crowd there, a tremendous, thousands and thousands of people, and there was no land. I mean, it was all people. So I said,
isn't it funny that a presidential candidate can have an assassination attempt involving firearms whizzing past his head, and somehow it's fucking boring as shit to hear him talk about it and tedious. That's pretty funny.
How many people have been killed? Because I knew there were other shots being fired.
Sure.
And they said, we don't know yet, but some people have been badly hurt. And I have to give the Secret Service sniper, they call him, or sharpshooter, but sniper, because he didn't know there was a problem.
I'm shocked you don't hear snoring. Like, this is just dull. And you can feel it. And then it comes to a head pretty quick.
Yeah.
Because Trump starts talking about the distance of the shooter.
Okay.
And stuff.
Yeah.
And Owen does a little fact checking in real time.
Why?
Because it doesn't match with what they want.
Oh, God.
And they are just, you can feel like this is not what we want.
You know, Trump just said something really curious. He said that the sniper that took out the shooter had 3 times the distance. So I don't know what that's about, because the testimony from the new director of Secret Service and the FBI deputy director was it was the sniper team to the right of Trump, if you're looking at the stage, is who shot the guy. So that's definitely not 3 times the distance. Now, there was a speculation that the guy that shot the shooter on the roof came from across the fairgrounds and was on a roof that is not seen anywhere in any of this footage. That's curious to me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Trump's not perfect. He doesn't know all the angles.
The angles, not truth, false, nothing. The angles.
And there were some people behind
But
me.
see how Trump's praising Secret Service, the crowd. Great. Move on. What are you going to do to Ronald Rowe, the head of the Secret Service, who actually directed this and lied to Congress?
So you remember way back we did an episode about Alex covering a Julian Assange press conference that was on at like 4 a.m. or whatever, where he thought he was going to like really drop some
This
bombs.
is going to be the one.
But it was WikiLeaks anniversary, and he was just giving a kind of a formal celebration of the anniversary. This has that same energy, where this is not what Alex wanted. He wanted Trump to fucking say that there was a Secret Service stand down. He needs these things that feed into his conspiracies, and instead Trump's like, Secret Service did a great job. They killed the guy. I have a lot of blood in my ear.
It's like, I love Steph Curry shooting basketball threes. He shoots them from a far distance, and then they go in the hoop. That does not mean he can act. I don't understand what we're doing here. Even if you think Elon Musk is great at the thing he does, that does not make him a good broadcaster.
No,
He's never
that's
done
true. That's true. He has some holes in his game.
Right?
His broadcast
Like,
game.
how is that? It shouldn't even be like, hey, man, just don't do this. This isn't your gig.
Well, I think compounding that, too, is that Alex, I think, loves the version of Trump that he pretends is real.
Yeah.
And this real version is kind of boring.
It sucks.
Yeah, it does not really match up to all of the storylines that Alex has told.
Right.
And it's dull.
Yeah.
And so Alex kind of bores himself.
That's fun.
And he's just like,
And then he melts like the Wicked Witch of the West.
If that were a metaphor for getting drunk, yes.
But where you see it the best is the border. Because
By the way, we just went up by another 100,000 viewers on one X feed. You had all our X feeds together, about 2 million. InfoWars feed, it's about 3 million. Everybody retweet, repost, live feed of Trump, Elon Musk censored on X. Retweet it right now. Retweet the live feed at Real Alex Jones right now. Hell, we can put it up to 20 million if you do it. Just the enemy hates it. Exercise your muscles. Annihilate the enemy. Attack, attack, attack. InfoWar, attack, attack.
No, I think
fire at will. This is a freaking. This ain't a game. I need to hold in position and stay on air to lose. We're gonna win, people.
I'm so bored, people.
Wow. Wow.
He's so bored.
It's boring.
It's boring.
That should be good. It should be, if it was like a real politician talking about real stuff with a real person and not Elon Musk and Donald Trump, then it should still be boring. It should still be like, hey, I think a 30% extra tax on blank is a good idea. That's boring. That's great.
I suggest that I could watch Elon Musk and Trump do that interview and not be painfully bored. I could probably find a way to stay engaged throughout it.
Yeah.
Alex cannot.
I can't.
And I find that fascinating.
Not even close.
Nope.
No. But, I mean, you shouldn't. I mean, like, you're extraordinary for doing that, but that does not necessarily mean that it's like a skill that should be replicated. Again, Steph Curry great at shooting threes. Steph Curry's not great at listening to this interview.
True.
You're not great at shooting threes.
You
This
don't know that?
happens.
I'm an outside man.
I don't know. We haven't played. Yeah, you're right. We haven't played basketball.
I have a good pop-up.
You may be great
Jumper.
at threes.
Yep.
I assumed too much.
That's what I was known for back in the day. And that's because I couldn't dribble.
That would make sense.
I can't dribble, but I had a mean outside jumper.
The white dude in the corner is the most dangerous player in the NBA.
I think that they built this up so much, and it was so important. The richest man in the world who's saving free speech is going to interview our God King.
Yeah.
And it's just boring as shit. And so Alex is left to like promote his website and then just basically beg Elon to say Team Humanity.
Gross.
You know, who do you want on Team America? And I think we want to just say, okay, we want to let in people who are going to
Elon, say Team Humanity. You agree with me?
Great contributors to
say Team Humanity, Elon.
Our society and to our economy, and and
everybody tweet at Elon and tell him call for Team Humanity.
And it's not to say that, like in my opinion, actually, I'd say like probably most of the illegal immigrants actually are actually good, hardworking
exactly.
people.
Team Humanity. We're not against them. But they're being used as a weapon.
Okay. So, I mean, he's trying to sort of like will Elon to say the thing that Alex put on a shirt.
Yeah.
And so, like, it's a tweet at him to say the thing that I was on my shirt so I could sell the shirts. This is sad.
Yeah, if I was sitting with one person on a couch and that person was like, "Ooh, do the thing, do the thing, do the thing," I would be like, "Man, you might be a little too into this," but that's okay.
Or they're high.
I would not want to be broadcasting myself talking to the TV as if the TV was totally like about to listen at any
Everyone
moment.
get on Twitter and help me talk to the TV.
At any moment, the TV is going to listen to us, guys. We just got to yell louder.
Yeah.
Wild.
It is a real dud and a disappointment for a good while.
Yeah.
You know, the biggest threat is not global warming, where the ocean's going to rise 1/8 of an inch over the next 400 years. And you'll have more oceanfront property.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
It's not that. The biggest threat is nuclear warming, because we have 5 countries now that have significant nuclear power, and we have to not allow anything to happen with stupid people like Biden. You know, Biden did something with Russia. There was no chance of him ever going in. And when I left, and then after I left, they started.
We're going to go back again. If you want the raw feed, it's on X of Trump and Elon Musk. Amazing. Launched about 47 minutes late because of DDoS attacks. We're here. We're covering it. When it's over in the next 45 minutes, I'm supposed to join right now, but it started late. Mario Fall and Nick Sordor and others with spaces to take your comments. But we're going to stay up here as long as it takes. Let me say this, though. I've got crew that was here at 6 a.m. this morning. I have a very small crew. I need your support.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, doing some plugs.
Not I've got crew that's been here since 6. I'm going to let them go.
Yeah.
Nope. I got crew that's been here since 6. They're going to stay. And if you want to pay them, you better give me money, because I'm not doing it for free.
It's not the most tasteful. But hey, look. It's dull. It's boring.
It is dull.
This is what Alex needs to do. He needs to cut in, do a little ad, because otherwise you're running the risk of, okay, Trump has started talking about Biden.
Yep.
He is at risk of sounding like he still thinks he's running against Biden.
Totally going to.
Or saying something about how Biden's actually going to come back or all this. You don't want to deal with that nonsense. So to cut him off and go do a plug.
Yeah.
It's great. I was not expecting this next thing.
Okay.
And that is that Alex is pretty upfront about how, like, this isn't what I wanted.
Interesting.
At drjonesnaturals.com and InfoWarsStore.com. Before we go back to Elon, and look, I love Trump. It's a good interview. But he thinks results get him to places, which is true in the real world. But he needs to be talking about the Secret Service stood down. Ronald McDonald Rowe stood down and lied to Congress. The New World Order, all the things that went on. I'm not giving Trump a minus here, but I'm giving him like a B+ instead of an A+. And maybe he'll go there But I'm really wishing for something else here.
I'm really wishing for something else here. It sucks.
This is so fascinating. This is so fascinating. I feel like we've lived through the most fascinating, but also like in 100 years it'll be very fascinating. But right now it really fucking pisses me off.
Mm-hmm.
But this idea of like Alex for the longest time knew his place. What he was lying about was not real.
Mm-hmm.
He was doing a game. He was doing the bit, right?
Yeah.
Then Trump comes around and they're like, maybe this is real?
Yeah.
Maybe this is all real.
Right.
This is all real. And then they convinced themselves that it was real.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're back again like, oh, no, I don't know if any of this is real.
Oh, shit.
What is happening? I don't think anything I believe is real anymore.
There's the dissonance of the fake Trump that they've created and the unavoidability of an interview with Elon Musk and Trump. Like, you can't not cover this, but it sucks, and it does not match up with the person who, if all you have to work from is a couple of fun sound bites with swelling music under it, a picture of him bleeding from the face with a flag over his head.
Totally.
These things are really inspiring. If you can just pretend that everyone just hates him because the globalists have tricked them into hating him.
Yeah.
There's a lot you can work with. But when you're faced with the real thing, it kind of sucks.
No, it is 100% here's what it is. All right? Trump and Elon Musk have labored under this idea that because the mainstream media won't just say what they say, the mainstream media has kept them from becoming as popular as they should be.
Right.
But the reality is, because the mainstream media condensed, edited, and then turned them into the caricatures that the mainstream media wanted to talk about, that wound up being what made them popular. So they think that what they're doing is what people want. And people think that the mainstream media is portraying them as what they're not. But the reality is that people want the mainstream media's version of Trump more than they want Trump, or the right-wing media's version of Trump.
Probably.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
All these people are nuts.
I think so, but at least they're fucking bored.
I saved one, and I said to Boeing, man, you guys must make a lot
By
of
the
money.
way, it's George Soros' birthday today.
What are we doing?
It might be Alex Soros'.
What are we doing?
Too, you know?
No. Shut it down.
Tim Waltz is a football guy. Everybody loves football. I think he's an alien going. The humans like football.
I'm wondering about Tim Walt's desire to get involved in youth football.
Why?
Oh, if I was going to cast somebody in a movie to play a pedophile, I'd hire Tim Waltz. Not saying he's a pedophile.
Okay, fine.
Okay, fine.
Yeah. So we're so bored that we're doing our classic insinuating that Tim Walz is a pedophile
Sure.
and giving a birthday shout out to George Soros.
Hey, let's give it up for 81 for Mr. Soros.
Someone out there is 93 years young.
What is happening?
This is bad. This is bad times.
I mean, it is so funny, again, but only because you're kind of condensing it, editing it, and curating it. If we were forced to all just sit here for the good bits, we'd be like, well, let's just turn this off.
Yeah, it would be very difficult to make it through.
I want these people to go away.
Yeah. So Elon starts talking about how government wasteful.
Sure.
So we need to maybe put together a commission to get rid of government waste.
Right. Like we should have a small team of people, like we don't need a large group of people for, like, let's say that we were doing some sort of broadcast and we only have so much server space. What we want to do is really make a tight, lean team that can react poorly when things go wrong.
And we need to do that with the government. And that's why Elon should be part of that small team.
Exactly.
And that this is just... I don't know, man.
And I'd be happy to help out on such a commission.
I'd love
if it were formed.
Well, you're the greatest cutter. I mean, I look at what you do. You walk in and you just say, you want to quit? They go on strike. I won't mention the name of the company, but they go on strike, and you say, that's okay, you're all gone. You're all gone. So every one of you is gone, and you are the greatest. You would be very good.
Getting those union votes.
If you look at Argentina.
Well, I'd be happy to help
by the way,
out.
congratulations. I just looked at the number of people that are listening to you and I chat. We'll call it a chat. But congratulations. This is very good. I mean, it's great. And you're an interesting character. You know, the new head of a place called Argentina, and he's a big, he's great. And he's a big MAGA fan, you know that. He ran on MAGA. And he took it to an extreme, too. He ran on MAGA, and I hear he's doing really a terrific job. It's called Make Argentina Great Again. It worked
El
out
Salvador's
perfectly.
a better
He came in,
model.
He bought a lot of hats. He brought over.
Yes.
Is that what we're
he's
doing?
doing a big job. He really
Bad advice
cut.
on El Salvador.
And I'm
But
hearing
Musk
they're
just
starting
volunteered
do
to
pretty
run the commission on government efficiency. That's huge.
Didn't he? He took out 9 out of 10 of the Twitter employees, and it works fine.
He's proven he's.
I don't know if I would say that tonight, but
Well,
He's a
generally
they attacked it. He's a maverick.
no, I think that's great. I think that boosts
No,
Nikola
it's
Tesla
even
of our
worse.
time.
If it is an attack.
Trump's electability to me.
He's if Nikola Tesla got past the bureaucrats.
Now just give RFK a spot, RFK Jr. a spot
Let me
on
tell you something.
vaccine injuries, and we're good.
I agree.
I agree. Let me tell you something. He's the Nikola Tesla of our time.
All right.
We're starting to get a little bit of this drunk vibe
I like it.
peeking through.
That's the only way that I could handle this.
Yeah. I think it's the only way Alex could handle this.
But I mean, like this is the thinking thing. This is the thing. Okay, if it is an attack, all right, if it actually was an attack that kept Elon from starting the thing on, that is even worse. It's an even greater indictment of him being a part of the government. Because again, in the government, it is a real possibility of attack. So you would want fail safes. Redundancies, etc., etc., etc.
In the same way that it's incredibly predictable that the infrastructure of Twitter would fail when all of these users were trying to come to the same space.
Yeah.
If you're of the mindset of people like Alex and Elon and all this shit, it's incredibly predictable that there would be a DDoS attack or whatever.
Totally.
So you're guilty of the same lack of preparation.
Yep.
Because you should have seen this coming if everyone's out to get you and this is such a dangerous conversation.
Yeah.
And it's the same problem. I do like Owen's kind of no bullshit. Like, I wouldn't say that on a day like today.
I wouldn't say it.
There's a frustration that's coming through from him.
Yeah.
A drunkenness that's coming through from Alex. And a boredom from everybody.
Yeah. I mean, I actually am beginning to think that Trump will not make it all the way to the race.
I think that they're hoping he doesn't at this point.
No. I think it's the same thing. I think everybody on there. So here's what I think happened. Right. They all thought Obama was a dictator, so they were like, let's get Trump and he'll be a dictator. But then neither of them actually were dictators, right? And now they're like, oh, they got rid of their old white guy. Maybe we should get rid of our old white guy.
But like I said, I don't think that there's any possibility
No backbenchers. Nope.
Yeah. J.D. Vance. Please. So one thing that you can say is about the world is that eggs are expensive, I guess.
I mean, eggs are pretty expensive.
No, they're not as expensive as Alex thinks.
Oh.
Yeah, 5 years ago, eggs were $3 a carton. They're like 10.
It's crazy.
I mean, like, you know, I do a lot of the grocery shopping. I went grocery shopping Sunday. I was like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, steak's insane too. Same deal.
I mean, everybody thinks I have all this money because media lies. I'm just leaving the steak area alone. I'm getting a hamburger. I mean, these like a cheap steak's like $20 a pound now.
Yep.
It used to be like $10. Oh, here you got Owen having a few eggs here.
He's chugging $400 worth of eggs in this video.
Are you like
I
Tim
probably-
Waltz? Is that horse semen?
I probably couldn't afford this in today's economy. I think that was a dozen eggs.
A dozen horse semens.
But,
All right.
but yeah, man, steak and eggs, the staple of American diet, and the Democrats are going to price you out of it.
So a little bit of context. There was a fake, photoshopped news story that people were posting about Tim Walz needing his stomach pumped because he drank a bunch of horse semen.
What?
Yeah. It was the right wing's attempt to do a couch fuck. Kind of thing.
They were trying. Oh, okay, I got you.
They were trying to make a joke, and it didn't really work as well.
No, the details are too poor.
And
Yeah.
it's, that like stomach pump thing is the schoolyard thing that it goes back generations.
Yeah.
That sort of rumor. It's dumb.
No, if you want to do Waltz, you have to go old school Midwest. How do you make fun of the coach? Yeah.
So this is what they're playing on, and it will become a giant part of the rest of the show.
Yeah.
Yelling about horse semen.
Yeah.
So get ready for that.
That sucks.
So inflation is real, but this is fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Eggs are not like $10 a carton. This is just Alex failing to move on from the talking points from 2023 when egg prices surged and they became a meme for inflation. The reality there was that inflation was a piece of that puzzle, but the biggest driver was a massive bird flu outbreak that Alex is still pretending wasn't real. Prices hit about $4.75 a dozen in January 2023, and they've dropped back to a normal baseline since. But Alex still wants to use the feelings that those egg memes created in his audience and weaponize them.
Right.
Steak prices are up, largely thanks to record droughts that occurred over the past few years and have raised the price of feed and made people lower their herd sizes. Russia invading Ukraine didn't help either, since Ukraine is a grain exporter, but now let's just fucking pretend that this is all Biden or something.
Yeah.
And there's a video of Owen drinking a bunch of eggs.
I don't know.
That's the context
you
for that.
know, like, my entire life, I can't think of a year of consciousness, obviously. I don't know what they were saying when I was 2 or 3. But I can't think of at least 1 year at one point in time somebody wasn't like, things are more expensive now.
No, that's definitely true.
I mean, it's like, yeah, man.
There's some validity to, just because of COVID and the aftermath of that it is a little different than times in the past.
Sure.
But it is a dynamic that is universal, that things are more expensive and we complain about that.
Yeah, I mean, look, if you want no inflation, we return to the barter system, right? Because inflation is essentially a combination of profit and taxes, and they're balancing out in the long run. But if you don't want any inflation, then it's like, this is worth one fucking chicken. Give me a piece of wood, and you get a chicken. End of transaction.
That system is not immune from inflation, though.
Oh, that's true.
You give me that chicken,
or I'll kill you.
I'll give you this balloon. So anyway, let's hear about some horse semen.
He's got 3 tampons up his ass. And
I'm not going to forgive you for the balloon.
All right, let's get back to Trump. Here we go.
It's fake news.
Came in from Wuhan, the Wuhan labs, and I always said it, and it turned out to be right. But had that not happened, we were set to start reducing debt.
By the way, he doesn't really do that, but they want to say that J.D. Vance has sex with couches and wears eyeliner, so we'll just make up whatever we want to. The difference is we'll tell you it's a joke. I think he does things far worse than...
I mean, look, anybody who's wanting to show young boys with the tampons,
he goes soft on pedophiles.
That's the legislation practice.
Yep, here we go.
And we were going to drill, and we were going to make so much money. We were going to supply Europe with oil. I had stopped the Russian pipeline.
Tim Walz just want to supply Europe with horse semen.
With oil and gas. We were going to make a fortune.
Pipeline of horse semen.
The COVID came in, and
new use for Keystone.
We really had to divert. Then what
the
happened
horse semen pipeline.
Came in, we kept.
Sorry, it's late, folks. We apologize.
If I didn't do what we did, we would have had a 1929 type depression. But the problem is when Biden came in.
The point is they want to make stuff up. We can make stuff up way worse, but we don't want to. So just keep playing games.
Yeah, keep playing games. So if I'm to understand Alex, he's saying that the left jokes about J.D. Vance fucking a couch, so he gets to joke about Walz drinking horse semen. I guess that makes sense, but where he loses me is the part where he says that the difference is that he'll be honest about how he's joking, but the left won't. That's strange, because it raises the question if all the stuff he's saying is supposed to be taken seriously, or if it's all a joke. It obviously can't all be a joke. Alex is joking about Walz having tampons up his ass because it intersects with a political issue that Alex is attacking. Walz supports accommodation for trans man youth it's an actual thing that Alex is very opposed to, and the tampon jokes are a way of him expressing that opposition. In the case of J.D. Vance fucking a couch, there's no policy behind that joke. It's not a way for people on the left to have fun while opposing Vance's policy proposal that people can marry furniture. That actually is just a joke, whereas there's way more behind what Alex is saying than just a joke.
Yeah.
When Alex is saying that he can make these jokes because people say that Vance fucked a couch, that's kind of a cowardly stance. He doesn't want to be responsible for his words or for how not funny these jokes are.
That is a problem.
This isn't really funny. It's just kind of what Alex does. He talks shit that everyone he doesn't like is a pedophile. He trivializes serious issues in order to use them as a weapon against his political targets. That's not really what happened with Vance. People made a joke that he fucked a couch, then Snopes put out a fact check that he didn't fuck a couch, then had to make an update because they couldn't prove that he hadn't.
Right.
It took on some momentum, and Vance tried to get in on the joke at a rally in Nevada, saying of his wife, quote, "I would call her up here to come and speak, but then I think I'd have to sleep on the couch tonight, so I'll leave her alone."
That's fun.
That joke bombed, so people made more fun of him because of it. It's all a total joke handling disaster on Vance's part. And I think maybe Walz doesn't need to like bring that joke up himself like he did in a rally, but it's not that deep. It's just
it's funny to fuck a couch.
They fumbled this joke, and now Alex is trying to pretend that a lot of the bullshit that he does is a joke.
I would go so far as to say that I believe there are some nights at the classic Cigars and Stripes open mic where you had 30 young, hungry comics go up, and all of them have a story about fucking a couch or something in their home that was not a human being.
I have been to rural Indiana with a friend of the show, Marty DeRosa.
Oh, yeah, he's fucked a lot of couches.
Rush with a couch fucking. Everyone was on their feet.
Pillow me all day, yeah.
Right. So the other thing here, too, is that like Alex pretends to be a serious show.
Yeah.
Like God chose him as a kid to fight the literal devil and lead the resistance in this time of globalist upheaval. He's not a shitty roast comic just trying to get a couple of punches in. So if we're grading him by the rubric he's set for himself, this is embarrassing. The horse semen jokes are beneath God's chosen warrior.
Yeah.
But they're bored.
Nobody's on comfortable ground. Feels like everybody's kind of on shifting sands, not sure quite what to do. Like, these people can't deal with actual jokes. They don't know how actual jokes work. They're insane.
I think Alex is pretty comfortable in as much as he's got some Tito's and whatever.
What's the point of jokes when you got Tito's?
So Trump brought up COVID.
Sure.
In terms of economic stuff in that last clip. And that's all fine.
Sure.
But when he starts talking about it in terms of medical stuff, we're in trouble.
Many more people died during his administration of COVID than during my administration, and we really got the brunt of it.
Oh,
but
God, please don't defend your shots. This is the only downer with Trump.
More people died because of the vaccine.
Yeah, he's learned to shut up about it. Just give me a break, Trump.
But we
God
had the
almighty.
greatest for almost 3 years.
And the cult members are like, don't criticize him. No, I'm not in a cult. I love Trump. He's pig-headed. He won't admit he's wrong. He tried all the therapeutics. They lied to him. But just don't tell me how good the shots are. Just don't.
Also said that African American.
He's not doing this. That's great.
Hispanic American were so incredible.
And it's like 99% of the deaths happened in hospitals.
Women, men,
Yeah, please don't do it, Trump.
A diploma, young people that graduated
jump
from
off a
the
cliff
best
here.
colleges, from MIT, from
To
the
a
Wharton
giant
School,
ocean
from
of
all
horse
the
semen
great
with
colleges,
Tim
Harvard.
Walz.
They were doing better, and people without a
Imagine
diploma
drowning
were
in a
doing
sea of
better.
horse semen with
And
Tim Walz.
everybody was happy.
At least you'd have
And then
plenty of
COVID came,
tampons.
and we had
What?
Well, he would have,
That
hand them
doesn't
out
make
before you do it.
sense.
Like, you're about to jump off a cliff, but here's your tampons. Well, thank you. I've got my tampon.
Feeling nice and safe and secure now.
I feel really good and clean.
Biden might need a tampon.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
But
I should probably say something
that-
about like
maybe that's the
maybe
reason.
my views on.
Am I discriminating? The men's restrooms here don't have tampons?
Actually,
Because
I don't know. Who can I talk to around here? Because I actually feel like when I walk into the men's room and there's not a healthy supply of tampons, that I'm being
Well, this
shorted.
building is so old. It's an old Microsoft building.
I'm being
There's
shorted.
tampon dispensers in the women's bathrooms.
Well, and not the men's.
And do you realize how discriminatory that is?
Yeah, and I'm actually, well, you probably shouldn't admit this on air, Alex, actually, because they're going to be coming for you now. This
Oh,
discriminatory
my God.
office.
I just committed a felony?
So you might notice that they cut the audio of the interview at the end there.
Yeah,
they were talking over it, and then they just cut
cut
away
it out.
from it.
Yeah.
And I think that's because Owen and Alex's bit was really running on its last legs.
Jeez.
There was no gas in that tank. And I think, and by that I mean I very much understand, that the reason they were doing this was because they were afraid that Trump was going to talk about how great the vaccine is.
Oh, yeah, he was absolutely going to talk about how he saved so many lives with the vaccine that they think is a murder vaccine that's killing all of us currently.
So we better talk over this with a fun horse semen bit and then cut the audio when we realize there's nowhere else for us to go with the joke.
Yeah. I will say that it is unfortunate, but I do feel empathy for being disillusioned by politicians not living up to the standards that you hoped they would.
Sure. It's so interesting to me, though, the way that there's this, like, okay, tech didn't work.
Right.
Shit fucked up.
Right.
Now it's starting. Oh, no, we're bored.
Right.
Oh, shit. He might say stuff that is really a problem for us, so
Totally.
let's just talk about jizz over it.
Yep. I just feel like the world just needs to understand, like, we could just not do it.
Yeah.
Like
It's an
we
option.
we all just be like, nope.
Mm-hmm. We don't have to be in a world. We can create a better future.
We could.
Yeah.
We could just do it.
We have to believe that.
We could just do it, man.
So Trump starts talking about oil.
We're fucked.
And Alex is so bored.
But they went in and they terminated it, and I'll get it going very quickly because not only is it big for Alaska, I mean, you talk about economic development, that for the United States, I mean, that is, they say bigger than Saudi Arabia or the
We
same
have a strategic
size.
oil supply. We
And
need a strategic horse semen supply.
Really good
Jesus,
stuff.
man.
For
And,
Tim Walz.
You know, they end it.
He's
So
gonna
I think
drain
we
it like
have,
Biden.
You know, perhaps
You're beating a
hundreds of
dead
years
horse's
left.
semen.
Nobody really knows.
Yeah, it's incessant. I think one of the reasons I have some of these clips in here is just to really drive home how much horse semen talk there is.
That's not
It's a
good.
lot. Yeah.
That's not good.
No.
Like one of the fun things about humor, I've always enjoyed, are those little details that you could really only kind of pick up through just constant repetition.
Mm-hmm.
But just the simplest thing, a K sound is funnier than an S sound.
Sure.
Like couch fucker is always going to be funnier than horse semen.
Yeah.
It's just how words work, man.
Yeah.
It's just how, I mean, it's weird. I'm not saying there's a good reason for
break
it.
down the craft.
I'm not going to do that. I'm just saying that the K sound is going to be more responsive than the S sound.
Yeah.
It's just weird.
I think it is interesting too, because a lot of the jokes that were, around Tim, or not Tim Waltz, the J.D. Vance and the couch.
Sure.
You know, there are things like,
J.D. Vance and the Couch is a show I would watch.
A slip, plastic cover on the couch being like a condom. Or
Sure.
Some riffs on change always being under the
There you go,
cushions.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of places you take this.
Relatable stuff.
The A to B to C, you go A to C. Alex is going A to like L. There's just weird things like jumping off a cliff into horse semen.
What? Why?
Why?
What are you talking about?
Right.
Does he do that?
It's not good humor.
I mean, but even then, like the problem is ultimately, I get if we're in the 90s, people are like tampons, women bleed, gross, but now it's like, oh, tampons are fine. Everybody has, they're fine.
Yeah.
You can use them for all kinds of stuff.
It seems a little.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's just cotton and shit.
So, Elon starts talking a little bit about climate change.
Oh, that's good.
And how it's real.
That's
Alex
bad?
is really, he can't handle that.
Uh-oh.
So he has to yell over it and
Okay.
kind of just